Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom preview stream ahead of Game Week 36. Is it Game Week 36? It is Game Week 36. I had to just double check my own thoughts then. As of course, I'm always joined by Jake. This intro's not gone very well, has it? I just
No, it's
sucked it
gone
off.
better than a lot of others, don't worry.
Well, just about. But at least we've had no technical issues as of yet. Touch wood.
I mean, to be fair, like I've still been banned from Skype for whatever I'm doing behind the scenes.
Yeah. You wanna kind of maybe elaborate on that one? What have you been getting up to on Skype?
No, I'm just gonna stick with no comment for the time being, but I'm sure it'll be in the papers soon.
Sensible that one, mate. Sensible, very sensible. So aside from dodgy dealings on Skype, of course we will be running through our teams in Game Week 35. Obviously the Spurs game still to go tomorrow evening, but we're going to run through it the best way we can. Then we're going to look ahead to obviously Game Week 36 and beyond, with the end of the season fast approaching. Realistically, only a couple transfers left for both our sides and kind of determining where we are going to finish for the course of this season. If you do have any questions throughout the stream, get them in the comment section, as we will try to answer as many as we possibly can. And if you do enjoy any of the content that you see, be sure to like, comment, and of course the main one being subscribing to the channel. But we're going to dive straight in, Jake. We're going to go
So,
for bed shitter of the week. Obviously, there's a few contenders this week. Let's put it that way, a few contenders. Who's going to be your bed shitter of the week for Game Week 35?
well, I mean, like you say, there's a few contenders. I think Mohamed Salah is definitely a viable option,
Yep.
considering the fact that I wasn't actually. It must have been my long record of making it to your deadline day stream was broken, unfortunately,
Oh,
at the weekend. So I missed the big news. So it's just karma, really, for not attending your stream. And I didn't get to see the last minute news that Salah would be benched and potentially maybe take him out for someone. So I think maybe I could say that Salah's a potential candidate, but maybe I've only got myself to blame for playing him, to be honest, and relying upon him. But that being said, it's a bit of a bed shitting when you've got someone worth that much money, and I'm sure I'm not alone. And he's not in the form even to start games in a side that really needs someone to take the team by the balls. So yeah, he's definitely a candidate. And I'm just looking at my team, and I can't really think off the top of my head if there's anyone that stands out any more than him. So I feel like you're gonna have to take it away with your other nomination. I'm gonna stick with Salah.
no, I do think Mohamed Salah is a really, really good pick, to be honest. A lot of people obviously didn't see the news, kept him in, and I was kind of umming and ahhing around whether or not to play him, to be honest, because he was such a good kind of, if you looked at the data, a really, really good asset going into that week. Obviously, West Ham, as we saw last week as well, bottom for XG conceded. And I knew Liverpool would get plenty of opportunities. You did manage to score 2 goals against West Ham, but Salah was obviously benched. But for me, my bed shitter, it's a little bit personal. But with the Salah news, I took a -4 to get Foden in. So, in some ways, I've come off worse than just
Well,
sticking with Salah.
arguably Foden was shitting the bed, hence why he didn't play.
Well, exactly, yeah. So I feel it would be ideal that he wins it, to be honest.
It would be very fitting if he's shit the bed, so he couldn't make the game, and now he's one bed shitter of the week.
Exactly. It would be very, very fitting indeed. I'm going to start the poll for that. So Mohamed Salah or Phil Foden for bed shitter of the week. Jake, have you got any headphones? Rogue question, but I can hear myself talking through your computer every time I speak.
Yeah, I could turn you down.
Yeah,
And
turn me
I'll
down.
just meet you.
I'll communicate to you in sign language, and that
Well,
will
I
work
can't see
better.
you either.
There we go. We said no technical issues, and then here we are, technical issues.
Right, can you hear yourself now?
Let me try and talk. No, there we go. We're all good now. Can you
Okay.
hear
What was
me?
that?
Ah, there we go. Yeah. Comedic, mate. Well done. Well done. Big man, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Wait till we see the points comparison, then I really will be the big man.
Exactly, exactly. So that poll is up for Bed Shitter of the Week. Get your votes in for that one. Jake, we're going to start off with how your team is doing so far in Game Week 35. And it's safe to say it's not going too well, is it?
No, I think I called it last game week when we were looking back at the best game week I think I've ever had in the history of fantasy. I was like, I wouldn't hold. I've just got to make the most of that, to be honest, because it's not going to last, and unfortunately, I couldn't maintain that. I think, of course, it helped that I was able to pick a wildcard team that really did. It was licking its lips at the game week that I decided to pick it for. Whereas when it reverted back to my actual team, there were a few nooks and crannies running through the spine of the side where I would struggle to get the points that I was hoping for. I mean, going from the top, I remember you mentioned that Neto might not be playing. Of course, Areola will now come in, so I will be on for 32 points at the very least. But yeah, I mean, that's harsh luck because they won 3-0. You did warn me, but I don't think that's somewhere to dwell on. But it's just the way when it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
8 Nori, fantastic. We were watching that together on Sky Sports News. 2-0 up. We were like, I think whoever it was that was commentating on the game was like, Luton just don't look like scoring. And we were just like, oh, for God's sake. There's Carlton Morris. And 2 minutes later, 8 Nori went off and got injured. So that was just rubbing salt in the wounds furthermore.
Yeah.
Brighton have been appalling of late. Who would have thought that Sheffield United would score against Newcastle? It's just typical. So that Dan Burn move, my transfer this game week really didn't pay off, but at least Newcastle's running is probably in the long run going to be worthwhile, the transfer that I made last week. And then, moving into the midfield, I was oohing and ahhing over Son, but I think I've kind of been trained by this stream and by yourself and by the people commenting and stuff that actually people do actually like my rogue opinions and stuff, but they will also call me out when I do something fucking stupid.
Yeah. As always.
And so I think that may have subconsciously put me off captaining Son because Palmer was such an obvious candidate. He was the clear front runner. Like, we looked at all the statistics. I think you may have even suggested that he's a viable triple captain shout to someone. And the thing is, that is still possible. But that being said, the way that my team's gone and the way that Son played in the game against Arsenal, albeit it was a penalty, I just feel like if Palmer doesn't do anything, it would just be so typical because I could really have done with those extra points for Son just to maybe catch my ranking up again against all of those that would be above me. Potentially would have done better than me, but will have hands down captain Palmer. So that was a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And then I think the only bright shining light at the end of the tunnel was the fact that I stuck with Muniz and he scored. Haaland coming off the bench, at least he got himself a goal. Happy with that because there's no one coming off my bench with any fireworks. But look, overall, very underwhelming. Nothing really to talk about that I'm happy with. But like I say, a couple of nice saviours, especially with the likes of Muniz. But overall, there's no doubt I've trickled right back down to where I belong in the total ranking.
Yeah, it's not been a great week. Obviously, Son and Palmer still to play, so that captaincy could have massive variables, and Palmer very
just
easily.
Feel like anyone above me though that's going to do well this week has most likely got Palmer captain as well.
Yeah. I think his EO is pretty much close to 100 this week, so pretty much makes him not really viable in terms of point scoring or rank gaining. Muniz, I know we did speak about him last week. We spoke about how Fulham were near the top for expected goals. And I said to you, I probably would keep Muniz in. I think he's looked really good. Always seems to be getting in the right positions, maybe a little bit unfortunate. And he did reward you, so fair play for that. You listened to me. We looked at the data together as well. So, that's what people can gain from this stream. A little bit of advertising there as well. Pushing it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It did work. It did work.
It did. Just a shame the other 10 players, there was no advice there.
Right, moving on to this week. Hopefully, some more positives. I've put the team out as best as I can, but I
To be
imagine there's going to
honest,
be some transfers.
I'm literally about to click on pick team for the first time, so I
Brilliant.
actually haven't looked at it myself. But on face value, what can you tell me what you've got on your screen? Because I can't see your screen.
Okay, I've got Neto in goal, but I didn't put Areola in. Dan Burn, 8 Nori at the moment, but it's a toss up between him and Gusto, and both of them are injured, so a Steve might be coming in.
Yeah.
Dunk, Son and Buemo, Salah, Palmer, Gibbs White, Watkins, and Haaland.
So no Muniz.
No Muniz, but easily you could drop Salah for Muniz. But I think realistically this week you might be looking to take Mohamed Salah out.
Possibly. It's a really sticky situation because Salah is very like in the however many seasons he's been at Liverpool, he's been fantastic against Spurs, and even when we've been atrocious and we've really hit like a massive stumble in our season to right at the end, the games against United when we were absolutely awful should have capitalised on a poor United side. Salah still stuck to his guns and added to his record of scoring against United and scoring against United at Old Trafford. And I think he's got a very formidable record against Spurs as well. So that's something that is on the back of my mind a little bit. And I'm not too sure about that just yet. Maybe it's something where I think there's a potential because looking at my team, there is definitely a transfer required. But I think on the contrary, I could do with those 2 transfers come game week 37 for that bench boost. Although if I do make this transfer this week, I probably will do a -4 next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally looking at that, I am reluctant to bench Muniz, but I do understand where you're coming from. I think everyone else has got a fairly reasonable shout to be playing, and of course you can't play 2 at the back.
Yeah.
I really don't know who else I'd bring him in for. I think the only other person that I'd be maybe tempted to take out would be Son, but then Son's actually got a decent record against Liverpool himself. I don't mean like transfer him out, I just mean swapping maybe for Muniz, but I don't think that's wise either. So yeah, I think from what you've said that you've got on the screen sounds not too far from reality. Not too sure who I'm going to captain just yet. I might go rogue after not going rogue this week and it shot me in the foot. I might just go like rogue, but also sensibly rogue and captain Salah. Or I'll bring someone in, and whoever I bring in, I may go throw the captain's armband
Not Gibbs
on.
White.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. If it was, how's Chris Wood doing?
Hey, lad. We'll get to my team in a bit with Chris Wood. We'll talk about him in a little bit.
The only thing about Chris Wood, though, I mean, you know what? We'll talk about it in a bit. I don't want to. I'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think the main thing that I personally think I need to focus on another defensive transfer.
Agreed.
I don't know how the ball. I mean, I wonder what that means to Neto now.
I think that probably means he's finished. I mean, at least you've got Areola who plays games.
Well, that's true, but what I'm thinking is, could I maybe I potentially take out Neto and bring in Petrovic? Because then as much as you don't tend to want to waste a transfer on a defender, on a goalkeeper.
You've got the bench boost coming up, haven't you?
You do, yeah. And I mean, West Ham have got Luton, so that's fine. I'm happy with Areola to just stink it out to the end of the season. Then I've got Petrovic for the double. I've got Petrovic for this week at home to West Ham. And then I've got Petrovic at home to Bournemouth, final day when West Ham have City away.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So that might be a way to look at it. I mean, also, I mean, I don't know what you think. Someone like, who else has got a double? I was going to say Pickford, but then I saw they've got Arsenal away last day, so I'm not too keen on that one. You know what? No, I think if I'm going to do that goalkeeper transfer, I really can't see past me bringing in Petrovic. I don't really feel like any of the other doublers have like the most mouth-watering of games.
Not tempted by Onana, maybe?
I don't think so. Not with Arsenal and Newcastle in the double. I mean, like when you did it, it made sense. You did do Onana,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I've got
Yeah, you did.
Onana.
Yeah, and that made perfect sense. And you've got two goalkeepers with doubles for the bench boost. I completely can get behind that. But right now, I think even you would be more inclined to go for Petrovic over Onana just with the fixtures if you had to choose one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand why you'd had Onana at the time because it wasn't costing you anything. But for me, when I'm going to be using my only transfer up potentially, I think when you look at the fixtures that they've got coming to the end of the season, Chelsea should keep more clean sheets. I guess your only argument against that is Onana makes save after save after save.
True. I think it was 6 or 7 saves at the weekend.
Well, would you be more inclined to go for Onana purely down to those saves?
I just think Chelsea aren't the best defence either, if you know what I mean. Like, both teams are pretty poor in terms of keeping clean sheets. So I guess you're looking at the fixtures. I'm just getting them up now.
Well, they've got West Ham, Forest, Brighton, and Bournemouth.
I think out of all those games, the Brighton one's probably where Chelsea would keep a clean sheet. Every other game, I think, could be a little bit sceptical. In terms of United, again, it's probably only the Brighton game. Realistically, they're keeping a clean sheet.
So it's down to who saves more. And then I guess you could argue that the more difficult fixtures would result in more saves.
I guess, though, you could also argue with them being difficult fixtures, it could lead to potential bum-ins and then maybe some more, like, minuses for +2 goals, +4. Like, I'm looking at that Arsenal and Newcastle one for United. Realistically, both of those teams, attacking-wise, are some of the best in the league right now. They could absolutely rip United apart.
Then again, though, United do turn up now and again for the big games. It's usually the little. I was going to say something I shouldn't say, so I'm glad I stopped myself there.
Good. Let's keep us on the air, man. Come on.
But yeah, it's the lower sides that these tend to trip up and concede silly goals to. Whereas against the bigger teams in the league, they've actually given a little bit of a fight. Albeit, I think City have maybe shown them up. I can't actually remember how that went. But like the Chelsea game, I know they lost that game, but they at least performed in it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
How much money have you got in the bank?
0.1 mil.
Okay. So realistically, to make any kind of monumental transfers, Salah's probably going to have to come out, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Though. It may just be worth keeping him this one more week.
Are you not tempted by KDB?
I just feel like there's still that risk of him being benched, especially if Foden's not shitting the bed. If he plays, he's fantastic, but for some reason, Pep just hates playing him. I don't know. You're tempted by him from the sounds of it.
I don't think I can get to him cleanly.
Really?
I don't think so anyway. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Fair enough. Well, it's some food for thought, but I think this week maybe the sensible thing to do would be to bring Petrovic in.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, you could take a -4 this week as well, if it sets the team up well for the bench boost next week.
But then what would you do? You'd be quite keen to take Salah out.
I think I would be keen to take Salah out for KDB, and maybe I would do the goalkeeper transfer next week. And maybe look at a defender, because realistically, you've got Dan Burn. Okay, that's fine. Gusto's probably not going to feature at the weekend. Aït-Nouri, even if he is, you don't really want him against City. Brighton have been absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
And then Newcastle, one of the best attacking teams in the league right now, is Steve. Like, there's no one there that you really want, is there, at the back?
Yeah. It's going to be hard departing from a Steve.
I mean, he can stay. He can stay one more week, can't he? Who've Burnley got? Tottenham. Steve's finished next week, isn't
he? Yeah, possibly.
Who's got a double next week then? Okay, you've already got a Newcastle. Spurs' double's not that great. Brighton, oh dear.
Could go for Could go simple and just go for like a Tarkowski.
Yeah, they've got Sheffield United next week. That's always an option.
It's
Diego
not-
Dalot.
Yeah, because I'd be very surprised if United didn't score in the Arsenal and Newcastle games.
Yeah. Or Maguire even.
Oh God.
He's been popping up with goals recently.
Yeah. I'd be tempted to bring Porro in actually for that double as well. As much as it's City, Spurs just tend to be that little Achilles heel now and again, don't they?
Yeah, I think if that was the case, I'd do then that transfer the other way around. So do the goalkeeper this week, then Porro next week.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sam, was some good food for thought there, Thomas.
Oh, full named me. Well, thank you for that one. FPL Thomas, the new YouTube channel name. Absolutely.
Rebrand.
We have got some people in the chat. FN has said, glad to see KDB punt over Foden went well. And he's asking me who came off my bench for Foden. We'll take a look at that in a second. We've also had a question, start Jackson or Gordon this week? Which one would you start, Jake?
Gosh. I would start. Oh, it's hard because Newcastle aren't even at home. I'd start Jackson.
Oh, it's so tough, isn't it? It's tough. I saw a comparison today. I think it was on Fantasy Football Fix or Fantasy Football Scout, if you want to go and look at their on their Twitter. And basically they were comparing Anthony Gordon's home record and away record. It's
Away record.
Away record. It's absolutely like miles apart, like genuinely miles apart. So I think I would be tempted with Jackson, but it's Burnley and they are naff, absolutely naff.
Yeah.
So this could be the week that Gordon turns up. Newcastle offensively as well have been absolutely brilliant in the past few weeks. So I think I'd lean slightly more towards Anthony Gordon. I just don't like Nicholas Jackson as a pick whatsoever.
That's what you're going to say as a person.
Yeah, I hate him. He's still not coming collected his awards.
Yeah, how rude.
Yeah, numpty. What other questions have we got? Offcore has said, sorry, was making food. Hope you're doing well. What food are you making, mate? That's the bigger question. Let us know which food you're making. FN said, sorry, why no consideration in the City defence? Have any of them potentially tickled your pickle for this week, Jake?
I mean, to be fair, Gvardiol started popping up with the odd goal, hasn't he? But Walker got a couple of assists, so I get those two. I think the issue is, I mean, a clear issue is the fact that I'm not FPL Jake looking at all the statistics and watching all the games and stuff. If I was, then maybe I'd have some valid answers for City. But on the other hand, I just do not watch City play because it is so boring. So the only time I will actually see that City defenders are decent assets to have are when they do pop up with a little bit of form on the attacking outlet, because even if they keep a clean sheet, you can still rely on Pep to drop the next game. So, yeah, I would say for me, as naive as it is, as ignorant as maybe it is, just simply because I've seen that Gvardiol scored a couple of goals in the last few weeks, and the fact that Walker had quite a good game, getting a couple of assists the other day. I think those two will be the biggest assets, but no one is safe in that Pep Guardiola team.
Yeah, 100% agree with that statement. But as we'll come on to see with my team, I might be bringing some City defenders in. So we'll talk a little bit more in length about them. FPL Josh is in the chat as well. He says, hi, guys. Hi, mate. How are you doing? He is a channel member as well, so if you do want to sign up for that, it is 99p a month, which is cheaper than most girls' only fans. So, you know, you're getting two sexy lads right here. Maybe, yes, we are wearing more clothing. We don't have breasts or, you know, any lady features that you might like, but we provide quality FPL advice and sometimes humour and other things. I don't know. What else do we provide, Jake, for 99p?
I was just going to say, I think, to be fair, I've probably got bigger breasts than quite a few of the OnlyFans girls.
Brilliant. So there we go. So bigger breasts than most of the OnlyFans girls as well to add to the list. You also get priority in these streams as well with your comments. So if you do need it, sometimes on a deadline, the stream does get a little bit chaotic. If you need that question answering ASAP, become a member for 99p and you get to see Jake's big tits. So it's all good. It's all good stuff. Right, let's move on to how my team did for game week 35. Still, obviously, Palmer, Son and Ped Porro to play. We did take a -4 to bring Phil Foden in, like we said at the top of the show, for Mohamed Salah. So we are on 43, if my maths is correct off the top of my head. Might not be. Yeah, 43. 43 points with a -4. We are currently on a downward trajectory as well with our rank close to the 200k. Eesh. Not where we want to be. Obviously, the past few weeks haven't gone well. The free hit didn't go well. This week, it's going all right. The week could still be turned around with the likes of Ped, Son and Palmer to play. Few standout players this week. Obviously, the Newcastle boys. They are absolutely immense. Anthony Gordon with big 10 points. Absolutely love that guy. And Alexander Isak, who I've had for a few weeks now, has been absolutely cooking. So no real complaints on him. Haaland coming off the bench. Great stuff. Defensively, all of them absolutely clowns and nothing really to talk about there. Son picking up the penalty, very nice. And Dominic Solanke getting 0 attacking returns in a game where Bournemouth dominated and scored 3 goals. How the hell does that one work? How the hell does that one work?
That Unal took his glory, didn't he?
Exactly. Where's Dominic Solanke's goals? That's all I'm going to say for that one. I was quite confident that Bournemouth were going to do very well. And, you know, I thought it could, you know, be a Dominic Solanke haul. A lot of people selling him. Didn't go that way. But at the end of the day, sometimes it does work out like that. Interestingly, the advertisation of Jake's big tits have got us a new member. So welcome Offcore to the Soggy Biscuit Club, as its unofficial name. But the official name is the Welcome to FPL Tom Fan Pack. So thank you very much for becoming a member. Like I said, it is 99p. You do get priority in these chats as well. He says, I've joined, except lots of Hull City chat from me. All right, mate. All right. Well, hopefully you guys can secure playoffs on the final day. Fingers crossed. I wouldn't mind Hull back in the Prem. Better than West Brom.
I feel like...
Let's be real.
I feel like Hull have... either got... I'm pretty sure Hull have got Plymouth.
I think they have, you know.
And that relegates Plymouth if they beat them. As long as... I mean, that's saying that Birmingham of Norwich. And I don't remember... I don't remember who it is Sheffield Wednesday have. So yeah, I'll be a Hull fan any other time, but this weekend I really do hope Plymouth win, if that is the right fixture off the top of my head.
I think you're right. Let me take a quick gander. EFL Championship.
Hull City are like Liverpool reserves at the moment. To be fair.
They used to have Herbie Kane, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, they've just got Morton and Carvalho.
Let's have a look. Matches. Plymouth have got Hull. Birmingham have got Norwich. So yeah, eesh.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either of those two surviving. If it meant that Sheffield Wednesday go down, I'm sure you're in agreement there.
I think Wednesday are safe. Pretty sure Wednesday are safe. Yeah.
Oh, well, in that case.
Oh no, they're not. No, they're not. If Birmingham win and Plymouth win, Wednesday are down.
Unless they win or draw.
I mean, Blackburn can still go down as well.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so if Birmingham, Plymouth win and Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn lose, then it'll be Sheffield Wednesday who go down because their goal difference is inferior to Blackburn. So could be very tasty down the bottom on that final day as well.
Yeah, it really could.
Yeah, maybe we should just change this channel, call it the Championship Podcast. I don't know.
Imagine though, like you could it's not beyond the realms then if that's the case that Mansfield could play Blackburn next season.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a day out at Ewood Park. Let's put it that way.
No, it's like middle ground for both of us.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of middle grounds for us next year as well. There's Wigan, Bolton, if they don't go up.
Yeah,
there's quite a few. There's quite a few there where it's about an hour drive for both of us.
Reading.
Not Reading. That's in the middle of nowhere. We're not going to Reading away.
Do you want to go Plymouth away if they go down?
No. Nah, we've got a terrible record at Plymouth as well. I don't think we've won. I don't think we've ever won at their ground in our history.
We need to go then, because I'm the good omen.
You're definitely not the good omen, mate. You are not the good omen. Of course, said thank you. I'm praying to get Hull versus Leeds in the playoffs. P.S. I think Plymouth are okay by goal difference from memory. They are not. They are not safe. They could still go down.
No, not at all.
Not in the slightest. They could definitely still go down this season. But let's see how it goes, man. Let's see how it goes. Hull Leeds in the playoff semi-final would be a tasty game, to be fair, though. Nice Yorkshire derby. That would be pretty fit.
Yeah, it just screams of bloody Southampton coming up, I feel.
I hope not. I
don't really care as long as Ipswich get up.
Yeah. Ipswich is a new team, but Southampton, Leeds, Norwich, and West Brom. If that's who else has to come up out of the playoffs, that's miserable.
We call Norwich and Ipswich little East Anglian derby in the Prem.
Yeah, I guess. But like West Brom are boring. They're going straight back down.
West Brom are awful. Yeah, sorry, West Brom fans.
Southampton, piss off. You've had your fun in the Premier League. Stay down there for a bit, and then Leeds can absolutely go and do one as well. No offense, Leeds fans.
I actually don't mind Leeds coming back to the Prem. I think they're the classic Prem side.
Oh, here he is. One
classic
of these.
First Division.
Yeah.
They're just a big football club, lad.
They're not. They're tiny. Right, let's move on to how my team is lining up for game week 36 before we get into any more hot water calling out Leeds fans. And Jake's face has disappeared. There he is. He's back. This is currently how the team is lining up. We've got Petrovic, Porro, Gabriel, Branthwaite, Gordon, Son, Foden, Palmer, Haaland with the armband, Solanke up against Arsenal at the moment, and Isak. On the bench, Onana, Garnacho, Aït-Nouri, and Gusto. I think with the transfers and what I'm currently thinking in my head is probably going to be a -4. What I'm thinking is I'm going to upgrade Garnacho to Bruno Fernandes because his numbers have been absolutely incredible. And then I think we might do Aït-Nouri to potentially Kyle Walker for the double next week. So that's my thoughts at the moment. But, what are you thinking, Jake?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Like I said, I know loads about the City defence, and Kyle Walker is number one on my list. I've done a lot of scouting for him. But no, he seems... I'm pretty sure he's the captain, isn't he, when he plays?
Yeah, he is.
So I would imagine for the running he would be there. So I get that. I think he said Bruno the other day. I think you attempted to bring Bruno in when he scored twice.
Yep.
And you went for Isak instead, I believe?
No, that was on the free... Oh, yeah, that was on the free hit. I went Isak instead.
The Isak was the one game week player, and you didn't go for Bruno, who also only had one game.
Yeah, and then this week I went for Foden instead of Bruno.
And how did he do this week?
He got 4 points. He got no attacking returns, but picked up 2 bonus points. I mean, Foden got 0, so...
Yeah. Did Foden actually play?
No, he was ill.
Yeah, so at least Garnacho comes in for you.
Oh, 2 points. Oh, let me contain my excitement at that one.
All right, lad, it's all right to sum up there.
But yeah, that's my current thinking. There's also some rogue options floating through my mind.
Oh, all right.
All right, so the other rogue options are drop Dominic Solanke to Chris Wood. Right, they've got no double next week, which is a little bit of a problem. But my thinking is they're playing Sheffield United, Chelsea next week, which could be a little bit of a problem, then Burnley on the final day. Realistically, Forest need to probably win at least 2 of these to stay up, or at least one of them. And I do feel like the Sheffield United and Burnley games are very convincing games where they could go and win. Chris Wood's got 12 Premier League goals for the season. Could be a huge differential as well this week. And it allows me to go get KDB for Garnacho. Pretty sexy stuff.
That is not. I do rate that massively. I think that is a fantastic shout.
The only problem is I am bench boosted next week, so it would mean playing Chris Wood against Chelsea.
The thing is, though, we've had this conversation. Chelsea are shit at the back. I don't think that. I feel like if it was Chris Wood away to Arsenal or away to City, even, I'd understand that. But anyone else, Forest can score. They're just not great themselves. at defending, but they can score. The only thing I was going to say about Chris Wood is I feel like ever since he missed that like 2 yard sitter against Spurs, he's gone a little bit quiet.
Yeah, he has indeed. He has indeed.
Yeah, maybe it's time for GW.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get him into this midfield, but if
No, I mean if you can get De Bruyne in there, I do get that. But then at the same time, I think Bruno's a great shout as well. So
yeah,
I think it works either way.
I just think looking at that United double, I don't think it's as easy as people think. Like they're actually making it out to be. You know what I mean? Even like the Crystal Palace fixture this week, Palace have been on a massive upturn of form, haven't they, over the past few weeks? Would not surprise me for them to go and get a positive result at Selhurst Park.
So you're saying maybe Mateta and De Bruyne?
Not Mateta, definitely not Mateta. He is never ever entering my team after the war crimes he committed on my bench. He's done. He's done. He's not coming back. There's no coming back from that, is there? But
yeah, there is. Have faith in captain United.
But I'm just looking at that double as well. Arsenal at home and Newcastle at home. Like it's not easy games, are they?
No, that Arsenal game is going to be tough, but at the same time, United will be up for it because they'll want to just fuck about with Arsenal fans.
They will, but at the same time, maybe the United players are looking round saying, maybe if we clanger this one, old Eric's on his way out.
Yeah, they've just been like, oh, Klopp's on the market soon.
Yeah. But no, there are obviously is rumours that Eric might be leaving, so maybe the players down tools. It's not like out of the question, is it really? That could happen. I think on paper these fixtures look good, but if you do a little bit more digging, I definitely think they're going to be some difficult fixtures for United. So that's what's making me lean more towards this KDB and Chris Wood route. But the question I have for you is, which one would you prefer going for? KDB, Chris Wood, or Bruno and Walker?
KDB, Chris Wood.
KDB and Chris Wood. It would be two filthy transfers for this week, I can't lie.
Yeah, and you've also got Haaland and Foden already. Wait, what?
Yeah, so if I've got Haaland and Foden already, I'm just adding extra spice. I'm hoping for a massive result.
You are, but then maybe I'm thinking Bruno's better. What about Wood and Bruno?
I can get Wood and Bruno, I think. Yeah, I can get Wood and Bruno.
Wood and Bruno's not a terrible result. I know you say they're tricky games and stuff, but I mean, it just depends on how you want to manipulate your own mind to see how United are going to play.
Yeah.
Because you can look at it like the way you have, you can also look at it on the other end of it and see that United can just step up if they want to. And Bruno has been solid in recent games, so I think the one thing you can bank on with Bruno is he'll play 120 minutes of that double.
Yeah.
Whereas De Bruyne, he may play none.
Very, very, very valid arguments. But at the same time,
don't get me wrong. If they both play, I do believe if they both play every single minute to the end of the season, De Bruyne will probably double the score that Bruno gets. But there is all that possibility that Bruno doubles the amount of game time he plays.
I mean, FN's just put a great thing in the chat. He says, Bruno Walker seems common sense. But we're at that point in the season where I think common sense starts to slip out the window a little bit.
Yeah, he's probably right, though.
He's probably
Bruno
right.
Walker
He's probably right.
common sense.
But think how many puns I can make about Chris Wood.
Yeah.
Like Big Willie.
Yeah, well, if we're talking puns, you should be going Wood and Willie.
Wood and Willie would be the perfect combination. See all the memes that we had around Big Willie. Maybe we could get it about Wood. He could be a little emoji for the members as well.
That would be fantastic. Well,
it would be good, you know.
Hey.
Yeah. See,
then again, it could just wait a week or two. Nah, I think if you're gonna go Chris Wood, you need to do it this week.
Chris Wood would have to be this week. Yeah.
I think you should just go for it. Go for Wood. Go for De Bruyne. Go all out City. Fuck it. You're going to have a City defender anyway you do the other option.
Yeah, true, yeah. Either way, I'm going triple City. We'll go
exactly. Screw it. Just do it. I think just back yourself. Just go for it. Go for Wood because that would be fucking great.
I think like obviously I'm still ducking doing the Bowen rain dance. I've been ducking that for a few weeks now. I reckon if Chris Wood even scored a goal, probably top would be off, to be honest.
All right. Well, then the OnlyFans might have to go up.
We're going to have to put the price up, lads. 99p was just for one set of tits. Two sets of tits. We're talking 1.99 now. Forget it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, before we move on to the next section, we have had a plethora of comments flying in the chat. So we'll try and get through as many as we possibly can, guys. But if we do miss any, there will be a deadline stream on Friday. So if you do have any questions about your team, come along to that. It would be, appreciated by me. We get a strong, nice group of people in there. We do team reviews. Jake occasionally pops up. Sometimes probably should pop up for the early team news. But that will be on Friday this week. So that'll be Friday at, I think I'm leaving work at 4:30. So 4:30 it will start till around 6:30 when the deadline is. I'll probably stay live a little bit later as well. I do have a cinema date. But yeah, we'll see.
Little birdie tells me it's with a man. So
It is. It's with a mutual man that we both.
That I've also had a date with.
Yeah. So
have you heard that me and him are getting a hotel for the night?
Oh yeah, when's this happening?
It's a couple of weeks.
Where are you going?
To be fair, mate, we'll have to talk about it because I've not spoken to him that deeply about it, but. Maybe it could be 3 men in a hotel.
3 men in a... I can already see... I can picture it on the OnlyFans page already, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the more we talk about things like this, the more we're going to have to up the price.
Yeah. It's getting out of hand. First of all, it was just solo, suddy tit pics. Now, it's bumped up to 2 tits, even 3.
Yeah, now it's 3 men, 1 mattress.
3 men, 1 mattress in a hotel with a dodgy VHS camera.
So, we're going to have to get a Snapchat premium going.
Yeah. So when that does pop out, guys, make sure you are subscribing to that if you want to see, 3 men in a hotel room. Yeah. Right, let's move away from the penises and the woods and all that stuff. Let's answer some of your guys' questions. Looking ahead to Bench Boost 37, my Brentford triple up of Flecken, Reguilon and Tony is stinky. Would love to hear your thoughts on taking multiple hits to bring in some better assets. In my personal opinion, I'm all for it. I think with it being the last double game week of the season, if you're playing that bench boost as well, I think hits are perfectly acceptable, especially if you're bringing in some of the more high quality assets for that game week as well. I imagine you agree with that statement, Jake.
Yeah, completely. And especially when it's got to, or even when it has got to the point where you're competing right to the end of the season in like a local league or even in the global or the nationwide leagues. Like I do feel like even then it is definitely worth just punting for it now because it cancels each other out. You may take that -4, but you've got another opportunity to play. So the people that don't take the -4 that are being safe, they miss that opportunity. They miss that whole second go. And so you're in the same boat, arguably, if your player doesn't do anything for one of those game weeks and just plays as opposed to someone that hasn't done that and their player hasn't done anything in the one game week that they've had them.
Yeah, 100% agree with that statement there. What's going on with Ruben Diaz? 2 games in a row, not even on the bench. Heard he was sick. Truth or not? I have not heard anything either. I'll take a look at that for you, Luis, and I'll drop you a message either on Twitter or if you come along to the deadline stream, I'll have an answer for you there. Lads, I want to bring in Foden this week for the double in 37. I can either trade him for Saka or Garnacho. Obviously, Garnacho does double in 37, so which one should I get rid of?
Who does Saka play?
Saka has Bournemouth this week.
At home.
Then United away, then Everton on the final day.
That being said, Arsenal will win the games without Saka being involved in anything. Now, he has just come off a very good haul in the derby. Mm-hmm. But he is that type of player that can go very quiet, very suddenly and for quite a sustained period. Not to say he's ineffective, but in this game, you need them to be consistent, especially when you're playing premium dollar for them.
Yeah.
So I actually would even argue that in this case, and this case only, I'd be backing Garnacho over Saka.
Oof. Okay.
Just because of that double.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I can get on board with that. And I think Foden also has that capability to go and explode in some of these games, doesn't he?
Oh, 100%. He only needs to play one of the games and he could score a hat-trick.
Very easy. Very easy. Looking through some other questions. John's asked, should he sell Watkins this week?
Who does he have? Who do Villa have?
They have got Brighton this week, so
Probably not.
I don't think I would be selling him, especially with how stinky Brighton have been recently.
Yeah,
Watkins has been cooking as well.
Yeah, Villa have been good.
Very good. I probably would keep him this week. Maybe next week look to kind of flog him on. But even then, Liverpool, Ollie Watkins has scored a few at Anfield before, hasn't
he has. The only thing that I like, and that's not even coming from, like, you know me, I would say if someone's got a good record or if we're shite. And despite all of that, and despite the fact that Watkins has scored before, the only thing that would maybe tempt me to get rid of him, which I may do myself, is simply the fact that it's only one game. Say he does really well and gets a goal or two, like there's still players out there that could double that in those 2 games.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
But this week, hold on.
Yeah, agreed. FN has said he's starting to feel like he's intruding something, and then Off Course followed it up with 3 men and a travel lodge. There's the title sorted for the video.
3 men and a travel lodge.
He's also said third striker for Bench Boost 37 is really difficult. Seen a lot lean into Chris Wood at Forest, so he's becoming template possibly. Nah, he's definitely not becoming template. Let's put it this way: it's only the lunatics like me that are bringing in people like Chris Wood. Let's be real. Let's not take the piss here. It's only realistically me that's bringing Chris Wood in this week.
Yeah, especially with if he's looking for a third striker for a double, he's not the guy, is he?
No,
I think the ideal people for the double would be, you probably want Isak, Haaland, and maybe Jackson.
It'd probably be between Jackson, Hoyland, and João Pedro from Brighton.
Yeah,
all of them 3. They don't.
Well, you could even go Alvarez.
I guess, but I feel like he wouldn't. I feel his minutes would be really, really in jeopardy, to be honest. It's a tough one. It is a tough one for that third striker spot.
Well, to be fair, who is it? Who was I just looking at? Bear with me. Who is it that have Sheffield United in that? It's Everton, isn't it? What about Calvert-Lewin?
Oh my God, no! We can't go down that route. Who have Sheffield United got?
Everton.
Oh my God, it is. DCL.
They've got Luton and Sheffield, Everton.
Oh, maybe I'm looking at all this all wrong, Jake.
This week?
Maybe Chris Wood's not the answer. Maybe his name's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Oh, well, yeah. Here we go. Oh, shiver me timbers. This just got a bit filthy, this. Did he play the last game or was he injured?
He was ill.
He was ill, right. Okay, so he's had a nice little break, hasn't he?
Yeah, that Chermetti didn't really build any skyscrapers.
So
whatever the saying is.
pull up any trees, I think's the saying you're looking for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Similar concept, modernised.
Yeah, it's a very similar concept, but, one's skyscrapers, one's trees.
One's right and one's wrong.
Of course, just put DCL, how far we have fallen. Yeah.
I wonder what FM thinks about maybe going double Sheffield United.
Let him find out. Let him find out, boy. Dreaming FPL has said Edison to Onana, Foden to KDB for a -4, or just roll and play Gordon.
I'd definitely play Gordon if you can. If it's going to be taking a minus, I don't think Gordon's the right person to be taken out. If you need to get De Bruyne in, I'd look elsewhere. So I probably would roll for that, especially when it's Edison to Onana. It's not really doing too much. How long is Edison out for, by the way?
Apparently, my mate at work who has him in his team said he should be back for the weekend. So
Yeah, so I feel like you're doing quite a lot of switching around for something that may not even work out. That's my opinion.
I'd
Um,
obviously say wait till the press conferences as well. Let's see what Pep has to say about Edison.
yeah,
But yeah, he did leave the game in a sling. But again, is that just a precautionary measure? Probably. Of course, said I've been stung so many times by DCL punts. Oh, the white goldfish has popped up as well and said, "Am I the only one captaining Wood this week?" It's starting. It is starting, ladies and gentlemen. The Wood trend is right here. Maybe we might be going Chris Wood. Oh,
I think we are underestimating Sheffield United not being that much worse than Forest. I know Forest have got a lot better a squad, but Sheffield have been scoring quite a bit recently, albeit they can't defend for shit. But I don't think Forest are all that convincing. And people going like, I know I've got Gibbs White and you're talking Chris Wood and captain and all that. I actually don't think it'll be that much of a whitewash for Forest, especially with it being at Bramwell Lane. It's a game that, well, Sheffield United have got nothing to lose now. So
Oh boy. That was
maybe it's a
number one.
McBurney
That was a
job.
very sensible comment from you, and I don't think I've ever heard one of those before on this stream. So well done.
Cheers, mate.
But
But now I've given you dilemma
I'm
central.
gonna throw it straight back at you. Chris Wood scored in the reverse.
Oh,
Chris Wood scoring in the reverse has just completely flipped it on its head.
oh, it really has. What was the score in the reverse?
2-1, 89th minute winner from Chris Wood.
I think that just proves it, though, doesn't it? It's not going to be a clear. I mean, it could be like looking at the same thing as what we were talking about with United. They could be up for it, or they could just down tools for Ten Hag's departure. But then the same could be said about Sheffield. They could be up for it, like they have been of late. They've scored goals, they've created chances. They've just not been good enough to to maintain the results that they've been after. But now that they're down, maybe they'll just go for it again. It's the last few games in the Prem, or they'll just be like, oh, fuck it, it's nearly summer.
Yeah. Looking at this, Chris Wood not scored in his last 3 after scoring 4 on the bounce. Dicey times.
That's what I mean. He scored. I said this at the time. He scored against Spurs. I was like, fucking hell. Then he had the chance, and he decided to absolutely volley it at the post. And I was like, he's fucked it there. He's now going to have pressure in his head. He'll feel the pressure to score again. And he has.
Well, it seems like we're building a little bit of a cult following here for Chris Wood. So maybe I'll be bullied or peer pressured on Friday evening to potentially.
It sounds like you're going to get peer pressured into it, but I actually would argue that Calvert-Lewin's a better shout now that we've had a conversation.
All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at which teams have been performing the best and the worst over the past few game weeks in terms of expected goals conceded and expected goals for. We're going to start off with the worst teams. Interestingly, a team picking up a lot of kind of discussion, especially in the past 5 to 10 minutes, is Sheffield United. They are on this list as the third worst defence over the past 5 game weeks. So maybe Chris Wood could be cooking. Not to bring it back to that point, but just outlining that Sheffield United, the first time they have featured on this list since we've introduced this to the preview stream.
Was that a question?
It was kind of more just a general statement, and I thought you'd maybe follow it up with some further
No, I was
analysis.
just like listening to your facts, to be honest. But no, I mean, I can't really say too much about that without just going back over what I said. But Sheffield, they should be in there, really, shouldn't they, for the position that they're in the league?
Yeah. It's a surprise that it's taken them this many game weeks to get on here. To be honest. Interestingly, United's 1 week stay away from bottom place. Well, they're back this week with 12.85 expected goals conceded. West Ham, interestingly, as well.
Burnley as well.
I know, yeah.
Burnley has put them back to the bottom.
I think that really maybe solidifies that argument we were having earlier about Petrovic and Onana, which way to potentially swing with that one. So, yeah,
I still don't know if that does swing it, because I don't know which way you're arguing, because Petrovic could keep a clean sheet, but fucking hell, Onana kept them in that Burnley game.
He did. Imagine if he keeps a clean sheet with one of those, like the amount of saves he's
I
getting as well.
know, I know that is true. Like that is tempting thrown on it because of simply how shite United have been defensively.
Or a penalty save. That's
Yeah,
realistically, that is all it's going to take: a penalty save or a clean sheet with the
he
amount
hasn't
of
looked too
saves he
convincing
makes.
at saving penalties though. The only one he saved was, well, it was an important one, but like albeit in vain. Um, but yeah, he hasn't looked too convincing whenever I've seen him at least face a penalty in the league.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, let's move on to the best attacks in the league. Liverpool still leading the way by a country mile. City in second, so maybe giving me a little bit of argument to potentially go for the triple up in terms of attacking players as well. Arsenal on this list, pretty self-explanatory. Bournemouth working their way up to fourth. Obviously, they did just play Brighton, who are one of the worst teams in the league at the moment in terms of form. So, again, suggesting that if you maybe have Watkins, probably worth playing him, because look at the amount of XG that Bournemouth managed to accumulate, especially in that Brighton game alone. And then, interestingly, bottom of the list, United again.
So they create.
They create, but they also concede. Make of
Yeah.
that what you will.
Good entertainment, to be fair.
Great entertainment. All for it, really. Some top quality entertainment right there, isn't it?
Well, that's why you've gone for something. You attempted to go by Bruno. People, I've said like I'd keep Garnacho in,
Yeah.
over like especially if you're risking getting rid of him. Like for someone, it's just not really worth it because he's got a double unless you're going to upgrade him to another United player. I get that. Just going back to your team, actually, now that I say that out loud, like, is there a way that you could have, like, is there a way you could have Bruno and Garnacho? Or is your midfield too stacked?
I think my midfield's too stacked. I've got Gordon, Son, Foden,
De
Palmer,
Bruyne.
Palmer, and then obviously if I was to swap, I'd have to swap one of those two out for Bruno.
Yeah, you'd have to take Garnacho out there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's probably the weak link out of all those players there, realistically.
Unless you wanted to just. No, I'm not. I'm not going to even suggest it. Let's just move on.
All right, okay. All right, let's move on to the final section of today's video, and then we will run through any questions that we do have left. Like I said, there will be a deadline stream Friday at 4:30, where we'll be doing team reviews, looking through all the important questions, analysing all the key data, and mainly probably watching me stress out whether or not I'm going to pick Chris Wood or not. But mainly I'm there for your benefit. But we'll come on to that. We'll come on to that on Friday. Finishing up today's video, we're going to take a look at expected points. I feel this metric has been really useful in terms of making decisions for not only my team, but your team as well, Jake. Obviously, harping back to the free hit in 34. Ben White was on this list. You brought him in, and it worked like a treat, really, didn't it?
Really did, yeah.
So, maybe this could be useful for you. Leading the way this week is KDB with 7.4 predicted points. You were a little bit hesitant about potentially taking Mohamed Salah out. Maybe this is the argument you need. KDB topping this list, Jake.
It makes sense, but I think I am going to stick with Salah one more week just because of it being at home to Spurs. And after last week's antics, I feel like it can only go one way or another. It can go to shit, which a lot of people will expect, but it can very easily go the other way, and he starts and scores, and him and Klopp go Travelodge instead of us.
Fair enough. Fair enough. An interesting one on here is the amount of Arsenal players. Saka, Odegaard and Havertz all in the top 5 for predicted points this week. They are playing Bournemouth at home, a fixture where you would
12:30.
expect... Yeah, 12:30, so maybe Gandhi's going to get involved with that one. But maybe if you've got an Arsenal player this week, I know some people have potentially suggested selling Saka to bring in the likes of Foden and KDB this week. Maybe looking at this data, does it maybe think, maybe I should be rethinking my decision, maybe not taking out Saka or Odegaard this week?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's only in very specific situations that I would take them out, and it was only because I think it was between Saka and Gordon or something like that as to who to take out. Two players that were in good form and also playing a double. So if you have to choose them, fair enough. But if you don't have to choose, then I'd definitely keep the Arsenal assets in.
Okay. Okay.
The top
Nice.
of the league, they might win it. So
True.
it's just a bit foolish to take one of them out if you can avoid it.
All right. If you had to say which fixture was better, Bournemouth at home or Wolves at home, which one would you go for?
Oh, Wolves at home, 100%.
All right. Okay. I definitely think that kind of harps back as well to what we were talking about in the last section. Bournemouth, interestingly, 4 for XG.
Mm.
So,
I
maybe
do feel like they're a different side when it comes to playing like the likes of Arsenal or City or even Liverpool
Mhm.
away from home. I do feel like they do struggle, despite how good they've been in the league when they're away. They like being at home and they also like playing the other sides. They do seem to. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope they get a result against Arsenal, but I do feel like they are quite prone to bending over a little bit and just not having quite enough quality to keep up with the top teams. That being said, they've been absolutely fantastic, and maybe as they get to the end of the season, I've just seen that they've achieved their record for the highest Premier League finish. Maybe they'll want to just achieve it even more, absolutely smash it through the park and get a win at the Emirates.
Yeah, would seal the season off very nicely, wouldn't it?
Mm,
Defeating the
definitely.
potential champions, stopping them winning the league. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of a narrative in that one. The final player I wanted to talk about on this list is Bruno Fernandes, and I wanted to talk about the disparity in points between him and KDB. It's quite a lot. It's quite
What
a
is it?
lot. It's 5.8 for Bruno and it's 7.4 for KDB.
That is a lot.
That is a lot in terms of my transfer selection
I
as
think
well.
that's what I said, though. Like I said, De Bruyne will double Bruno's points tally in the next few games if they play the same minutes.
Yeah,
That is very likely. But the other way around to look at it is Bruno's most likely to play double the amount of time. So as much as if they do both play this weekend, I would rather have De Bruyne than Bruno.
okay, all right, fair enough.
Away to Palace is a lot more tricky as well than home to Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Especially with Palace's upturn in form as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, before we finish up, let's answer some of your guys' question. Before we do that, I'm going to end bed shitter of the week. I think there was a pretty clear candidate, and he has edged it out. It is Mohamed Salah with 63% of the votes for bed shitter of the week for game week 35. Phil Foden with 36. So again, YouTube taking their customary 1% tax on the polls as well. So congratulations to Mohamed Salah. I think that's now 3 in a row for bed shitter of the week for him. So,
Yeah.
he's on for a record here. Nicholas Jackson, I think, was about 3 or 4. So maybe if Salah picks it up again next week. Whew,
He's definitely second in the Golden Bed Shitter League
the
table.
Golden Bed Shitter League. Well, I was going to talk to you about this at some point, but the final game week of the season, I think once the game week's done, we'll do like an end of season awards show.
Oh, that's a great idea.
But we'll do it unconventional awards. So obviously the big award is bed shitter of the season.
Yeah,
But I feel like we need like honkiest transfer.
yeah. All right, sound.
Yeah. All right. Think of some.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get
No, I
it.
like
We'll
that.
get
I
it
like
put
that.
together. So there you go, guys. A little bit extra. Behind the scenes. What usually
And if
happens.
anyone has any comments of any potential awards, we
There
can
we go.
provide people with.
Boom, boom. Look at that. Look at that. He's done it. At the start he wasn't. He was usually hating on people in the comment section. Was Jake? They were usually slandering him. Now he's asking for their opinions. Roles reversal, ladies and gentlemen. Right, let's answer some of your guys' questions before we finish up. Andrew's made a great point here, and I think you made it earlier in the stream. He said Foden was ill, so maybe he was the true bed shitter.
He
Nice.
was. He really was. Although to be fair, Salah bed shat on the sidelines, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Samuel Lee has said free hitting in 37. So what transfer is best for game week 36? Best player to own this game week and probably game week 38 as well with his team. I think Chris Wood's
One
up there.
transfer.
Yeah, Chris Wood with
Chris
Sheffield
Wood's
United
great.
and Burnley.
Chris Wood was a great shout. Yeah. Any Arsenal asset.
Yeah.
They've got United in the double, so definitely make the most of Bournemouth and Everton at home.
Maybe a Fulham asset. Brentford and Luton.
Yeah, definitely. What about a Luton asset? Everton and Fulham both at home. For
Yeah,
Carlton Morris.
I think you could even go for a City asset this week. They've got Wolves and West Ham,
Yeah, and then
Newcastle,
of course,
Burnley, Brentford.
yeah, and then of course, big Christopher Lee Wood. I don't know why Lee came into my middle. I don't know. Christopher Lee Wood. Let's find out what his middle name is.
Nice. Lee Wood's the boxer from Nottingham.
Oh, it's all making sense, isn't it?
It's all.
Oh,
It's
it's
all.
Christopher Grant Wood.
Oh, I think you should legally change it to Lee Wood.
Yeah, it should be, and Lee Wood should be Lee Christopher Wood.
Yeah. Let's sort that out for you guys. Come on, sort it out.
They might be brothers, to be fair.
Could be very easily brothers.
Well, they both live in Nottingham, or at least work there. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, one's from Gedlin and then the other one's from New Zealand, so I don't really think it's.
Yeah, but you can be born anywhere and live anywhere.
Oh yeah.
That is some philosophical statements there. You can live anywhere and live anywhere.
Well, this is stuff you just don't get on other FPL preview streams, is it really?
Not at all.
This philosophy, suddy tip picks, 3 men in a travel lodge, it's just stuff you don't get anywhere else. Gordon to Havertz from -4. I'm not even going to bother asking you that one, Jake, because I'm just going to say no. I'm going to shut that one down. But Edison, stay injured, please, so I can facilitate a move. I thought that was a question. It wasn't. It was a statement. Someone's asked, so Jake is saying McBurney punt instead. I think that's when you were going on your rant about how good Sheffield United are.
I think the only person I'd be tempted by there is Ben Brereton Diaz.
Yep. And then Dreamin' FPL said, sorry, missed the start of the stream. Is Foden out? No, Foden is not out. He is recovered, or so far has recovered from his illness. Let's wait and see what Pep has to say, but he realistically should be back for the weekend. What other ones have we got? Offcore has said deep words, Jake. I think you've touched his heart there. Well done, you. He's also said the Emil Heskey Award for strikers that fluff chances.
Oh, well, no, we don't even need to wait to the end of the season to provide that one, do we?
I mean, it's a competition between Darwin Núñez and Jackson, really, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
So, I mean, that could be a good award. Get the votes in for that one.
Yeah, we'll have to do a poll for that one. That's a good shout.
That is a good shout. Right, Jake, before we finish up, of course, I'm going to ask you the best question of the week. It is going to be, what is going to be the highest scoring game of Gameweek?
I'm going to go for City Wolves.
That's a bit boring.
All right. I'm going to change my answer.
Go on.
To Luton Everton.
Oh, DCL, mate, he's going to cook.
I'm actually ever so slightly tempted to do a -4 and bring DCL in. But they're not doubling. That's the only bummer.
That is the only bummer. Oh. DCL, all right. I think I'm going to go with Sheffield United Forest if I obviously join the Chris Wood hype train.
And the Ben Brereton hype train there, who's going to be highest scoring.
Exactly, so just goal fest, really, at Old Bramall Lane.
Yeah, like that a lot.
Cool, good stuff. Thank you for everyone who's been to today's stream. I think, looking at the numbers, this has probably been the best stream in terms of numbers. I think it peaked at around 39, 40 at some point. So thank you very much for everyone who's been here. The comments as well have been absolutely mega. Thank you, Offcore, for becoming a new member of the channel as well. Massively appreciate that one, my friend. Appreciate all the other members as well. Like I said, if you do want to become a member, it is 99p. There will be a deadline stream on Friday at 4:30 as well. If you want to come along to that, get your team rated, or if you've got any questions about your team, I will try to answer as many as I possibly can. But me and Jake, we will be back next week. Will we be back next week?
Oh, yes.
We will be back next week. Yeah, I was trying to think if it's not a double game week, but it isn't. But we'll be back. We will be back. Like I said, guys, thank you very much for your support today. Massively appreciated by me and Jake. So enjoy the rest of your evening and see you on Friday.